From the creators of Relevant Magazine, this is the Relevant Podcast.
What's up, everyone? Today is Wednesday, June 20th. You're listening to the Relevant Podcast. I am your interim host today, Jesse Carey. Cameron he's back in Montana this week, so I'm taking the reins. And let me just assure you right from the outset, it's going to be a wild, wild ride while he's gone. But before I talk about what I have planned, I want to tell you who's with me here today. Here in the Orlando studios is Andre Henry. Andre, how's it going, man?
Great. How are you?
We're right out of the gate, and I already bobbled one of the people's names who I speak to every single day. Also, we have two from Nashville, Tennessee. I think just minutes apart, yet they're recording in separate locations. Author, speaker, I'm trying to think of another word, extraordinaire, podcaster extraordinaire. Her podcast, That Sounds Fun, is now on the Relevant Podcast Networks. It's incredible. You should check it out. Annie F. Downs is on the show today.
Good morning, gents. Jesse, your hosty voice. I'm so into it.
I'm coming in real hot. I've been up all night preparing for this. And also with us from Nashville, Tennessee, Tyler Huckabee, the one and only. Tyler, how's it going, man?
Howdy, everybody. It's good to be back on the podcast. This is like, 2 weeks in a row now?
I know, it's crazy.
After a lengthy absence, I feel like I'm kind of getting back into the groove of it.
Sweet.
Yeah, I feel like you're getting
Don't
your
get your
rhythm
hopes
a little.
up, buddy. Don't get your hopes up.
I work from home, so this is the only communication I have for all day.
Tyler has a mail purse, has a mail carrier. They avoid his house. They slide. He doesn't have a mail slot, but they just slide stuff. They just try to cram it under his crack so that, they don't, Tyler doesn't talk their ear off the whole day.
Otherwise, I just show like, hey!
Yeah. You start Skyping
Hello.
people randomly and people get real annoyed about it.
Tyler has one of those like camo suits that that the snipers wear in like the movies. I say in the movies, they probably wear it in real life, but it makes you look like a shrub. Like if you just crouch down, you look like a shrub, but there's like two little netted eye holes that is invisible unless you're looking out them. And he just crouches there and waits for people to walk by his house so they have someone to converse with.
Every week, it's a different hiding place. Last week, it was the mailbox. Like, my mouth was the mail door. He thought he'd gotten around me. He wasn't even coming up to the door.
Hello there. And you spit out the mail.
Wow.
Tyler, you should just come to my office. I'm like 1 mile from you.
I am coming to your office today. I think we have a podcast. I'm recording your podcast today.
You are?
You look surprised.
I'm the most surprised here.
That invitation wasn't actually serious.
I'm going to translate something for people who can't see because I have them all up on my screens right now. When Tyler said that, Annie's face she looked like she opened a present at Christmas that was really awkward. Like, she looked like she opened like a sweater from her grandmother and the thought entered her head, I'm never going to wear this, not even once. I hope she kept the receipt. That was the look of Annie's face when Tyler announced that he was coming unannounced to her office to record a podcast.
Unannounced, your assistant set it up.
Yeah.
Annie.
No. I'm sure it's right. Let me just double check my calendar by asking you, what time are you coming here?
It's going to be my one time to get out of the house today to actually talk to somebody. Now look what's happening.
No, it's happening. Just tell me what time
apart.
to expect you.
All right. Are we going to do this on air? Are we going to record
No,
this whole thing?
We'll settle this. We'll settle this off air. In the meantime,
this is good This is good material. This is good content.
I will say this. We'll hold all the scheduling talk for after the show because I'll say this, Tyler. I think you need to dust off the camo suit if you're looking for more conversations today. I think pestering bystanders and scaring them half to death is your best strategy. But hey, listen, we got a great show today. Does anyone know who the guest is? Maybe you heard of him. He's a guy named Lecrae. Lecrae. I don't know. Maybe you've heard of him. I would give an introduction, but he's kind of a big deal these days. Lecrae is on the show with us today.
Here in the States, I believe we call him the Cray.
That is good.
It's coming off hot. Tyler, you guys can't see this, but remember when Letterman, when he was still on the Late Show and he had like a stack of blue cards where he would write all his pre-written jokes? Tyler just took one of the blue cards and flung it over his shoulder. That was his. He's got a large stack of corny jokes that he's going to be busting out.
And the band, just a little drum riff. Max Weinberg is just like, there it is.
Oh, yeah. Paul Schaefer. Oh, Dave. Oh, the Cray. He said the Cray is Paul Schaefer, ladies and gentlemen. Paul Schaefer. So we got Lecrae coming up. He's got a brand new album, Let the Trap Say Amen, with producer Zaytoven. Huge album, really cool. So we're going to talk to him about that. A lot of other stuff to get to, but before we do, Annie, I want to let people know that you've informed us you're not going to be on the show next week because you're playing.
It's my first absence since I joined the cast.
This is your first absence.
How many do we get? How many unexcused absences do we get?
Well, do you have a doctor's note? Because we'll let that slide. And let me say this:
definitely.
I'm terrible at trying to determine forgeries. I assume most legal documents I received are forgeries. I can't tell.
Is Andre a doctor? Because he's the one who I'm going to get the right note for me. Andre?
I am not officially a doctor.
Okay. He's also a terrible liar. Never mind. I'm just going to take the unexcused.
I read WebMD
Andre,
for fun.
Can I ask a real question, Andre?
Yeah, sure.
What is your level of education? Because I have heard, I don't know if you're aware of this, but in the office, I have heard like also a lot of different things which are mutually exclusive.
Wait, there are rumors?
Like they can't all be true about like how many, like I think somebody has told me that you have a PhD, which you are a very intelligent guy, but if that's true, then you're in the wrong line of work.
Let's set the record straight.
I do not have a PhD.
Okay. What do you have?
Yeah. What's your top level
quizzical
degrees?
way to say that.
Hey, I don't want to make it a competition, but I'll rattle off mine real quick for you, Andre. No big deal. Yellow belt. TV VCR repair from ECPI. Do I need to keep going?
You and I got to the same level of martial arts. That's for sure.
Driver safety course completion certificate after a speeding ticket. Do you want me to keep going? Okay, what do you got?
I have a master's degree. I have one master's degree.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that makes sense.
Yeah.
That seems about right. I'm sure you could get a PhD if you were so inclined, but who has the time anymore?
People are trying to get me to get a PhD, and I'm still making up my mind about that.
Oh, okay.
That's the difference between him and us. That's why his pause was like, I don't currently have a PhD, where I'm like, nope, no PhD, because he's considering it, and I am not.
Well, no, I only said that because the rumor was that I have one, and I would agree that would be kind of strange if I was just like, this is PhD Dre just walking around Orlando.
I've already resolved the fact. I've already resolved to the fact that there's only one way I'm getting a PhD, and that's an honorary one from a very shady institution. that needs a quick publicity bump. That will give me an honorary one. Annie, but you're not going to be with us next week, and we'll let it slide. We won't make Andre forge his name. Okay. But you're going to China.
Yes, for my first time ever going to Asia. I can't wait.
I am fascinated by international. I've been watching a lot of, after Cameron's recommendation, Ugly Delicious on Netflix.
Yes.
I've been rewatching a lot of the Anthony Bourdain stuff. That sounds like such a cool trip. Are you going to have where you're going in China? Obviously, it's a massive country, but is it like in one of like the urban areas where you're going to get the full on kind of culinary experience?
Yeah, I think so. And here's the thing is that this is going to tell you more than I wish it did. I am going to visit my cousin who lives there and him and his wife. And, I only know that we're going to Wuhan. I don't know where that is. I just know that's where the plane lands and where they live. So I've done no research. But it's amazing because they speak Chinese and they live there. And so I literally don't have to know anything except when to get off the plane. And I only get off when it stops. And so I am like good to go.
What airline are you on?
Well, I'm Delta because I'm bougie and I only fly Delta. But
See,
you just
that's
never
not a
know.
problem. Delta has access to movies that aren't even out in the theaters yet, like Toy Story 4. Like Annie's gonna find out what happened to Thanos on her flight. Like that's how advanced Delta's viewing options are. I'm very envious.
The hope.
What do your cousins do there in China?
They're teachers. So
very
it's
cool.
their summertime, so it'll be awesome. They don't have to do anything. We just get to, me and one of my sisters are going. And have any of y'all been to Asia? What do I need to know that I don't know?
Oh, I have no idea. Never been.
I've been to Japan, but they're pretty different countries, so I got nothing for you. I summered in Japan, like between my high school, between
Why is
high
that
school
not
and
your
college.
Twitter bio, Huckabee? I summered in Japan.
Summered in Japan. What if I was one of those guys who like get really into Japanese culture? You know, the guy who has a kimono and a sword, and like, sometimes you go over to his house and you're like, you're just looking to hang out, and he's wearing it, and it's like, oh, this is going to be a thing. You seemed normal.
You described what was the tall guy on The Office that he's now in Silicon Valley. What's his name?
Yeah, I can't think of his actual name, but I know who you're talking about.
It's like they go to the party at his house. Yeah, they go to a party at his house, and he has a whole room full of Japanese stuff because he spent like a week there. That's essentially Tyler. He's adopted the culture after spending 15 days in the country. Annie, I think the only thing I'll ask, and I think I speak on behalf of everyone, is some sort of very memorable souvenir from your travels.
Oh yeah, for sure. I'll get y'all something. Yeah, I can't wait. I love doing. I think souvenirs are one of the most fun. It's also because I kind of am sentimental all the time and like junk, but I love. So yes, I will get y'all something that is very weird and perfectly you. And I will make a promise to you publicly. I will not get a tattoo with a Chinese character because you never know if they're actually tattooing what they say they're tattooing on you.
I feel like you'd be the most safe getting that in China, though. Right. To be fair, like I feel like if you like your heart is really set on that tattoo, I feel like your best bet is to get in China because they likely do know what it means. Unlike somewhere here.
Don't y'all ever, whenever anybody shows you that tattoo and it's a character in a language we do not speak, and they go, "It's peace. It says peace in Mandarin." You're like, you don't know that.
Nah.
You don't actually know.
Sure, sure, whatever. I don't care. It does.
What's even better is when they have the Elvish tattoo, and it's like, no, it doesn't. It doesn't mean that in Elvish. That's not a language. Those are just scribbles. It's just a little design.
That begs the question: who are you hanging out with that has Elvish tattoos?
Right out of college, I worked for a pastor who had a number of Elvish tattoos because he was one of those Lord of the Rings guys. We all like Lord of the Rings. We all like Lord of the Rings, but then there's some people who like Lord of the Rings, and then there's some guy. This guy, he had a decent amount of Elvish, his words, under the bit, like he knew how to speak it. And it's like, again, you're not speaking Elvish. You are saying made up gibberish.
Yeah,
I guess it kind of like,
you're like, well, that language means nothing. So there you go.
Yeah, I also speak Elvish. I can just say words and say whatever I want them to be either.
I mean, isn't every language literally a made up language?
Don't bring your factual, like, three Pinocchios, Washington Post fact check it. I mean, that's not what this is about.
It's like the currency debate. It's like the currency. It's all paper, right? It's, right. I mean, it means nothing outside of whatever value we assign it, which is why I do all of my trading and bartering with actual goods like gasoline, because that's not losing its value. People are going to need it when it goes down. Gasoline and produce is how I barter
produce.
For everything.
Man, I wish that was true. Jesse, I'm telling you, you would have been the best in the Wild West. Like, you'd have been a great gold miner, like the gold rush. You'd have been that guy who did that really well.
The only thing is I have a very short attention span, and I would like when I ever see like the stereotypical old prospector, right? The guy with all the junk, like pots and pans like dangling off his backpack, and most of his days are spent in the river like panning for gold. And like on a good day, you get like a couple grains of sand worth. I would be panning for gold for like 10 minutes and be like, I've made a gigantic mistake here. Like I've become an old prospector. I've chosen career path old prospector. And day one, I realized this is terrible. This is terrible. If I had to live in the Old West, I think I would go for saloon owner or heist leader for locomotives. That would be a better career option. But
I think I'd be the guy at the piano in the saloon because he's always the first one out of there when the shooting starts. Like he sees trouble going down. He's got his curly little mustache and he's like, well, guess nobody's dancing anymore. Time for me to take a hike. And he survives. He makes it. Everybody else dies. That guy just goes back home to his wife.
He's
and
like
kids.
the carpetbagger. He's always like scooting out.
Worst case scenario, there's a cane who actually pulls him off from off stage out of the saloon.
Yeah, Annie asked if I could write a doctor's note earlier, and I'm thinking about this like some earlier time could be the only time I could be a doctor because I'm the worst when it comes to health anything. I think I might have broke my finger last week, and I just kind of said, well, let's see how it looks in 3 days.
Yeah, I know. I did that too, man. And I broke a finger and it looked like a sausage like a day later. And I was like, I'm going to tough this out. I ended up getting surgery and it's way more jacked up now. Just let it heal. Go Old West style. Just tape it up or cut it off.
Exactly.
That's what they did back then.
Yeah. I need to be in a time like that. Then I can be like, you come in like, I got shot. And I'm like, I think I can pull that out.
well, boil some water.
Yeah.
Boil water.
I think I know the solution for that by Old West standards. A broken finger, I'm pretty sure you just put leeches all over it and they'll take care of that. I don't know how. But
Andre, how did you break your finger? What happened?
I mean, I'm not saying I did or didn't. Again, I did not go see a doctor. I just was like,
I'm not accusing you of anything, Andre. Settle down. I'm just asking you what happened to your finger.
I don't know. Like, I just know that my hand has been swollen for a week and a half.
So there wasn't an event like you were
That's
playing
fine.
sports?
I mean, of course there was an event, but you know,
you just don't want to
now
say
you can tell it.
these stories are never interesting or good. You know, like you break something.
You called
and
it an event. There's no getting out of this, buddy.
Yeah,
I only repeated Chandler's
notable.
words.
Event means notable.
They are never notable. Like I was just like walking and like popped my fingers, and then later on I was like, oh man, my fist is usually not this big.
So it was so you're saying you suffered a knuckle cracking accident? I will say
it
this.
was a knuckle cracking event.
Yeah,
But
something like that.
anytime someone cracks their knuckles, they'd be lying if they didn't say, runs through your head for just a slight second, this could be the time I break a finger. Like this could be the one. This could be the one. Well, hey, listen, we got a lot to get to, so I would talk about knuckle cracking incidents and Annie's trip to China, but we're gonna get. I'm sure we'll circle back around to those topics at some point. But before we move on to Lecrae, a lot of people have already fast forwarded. Let's just face it right now. When they heard Lecrae's on the show, they already fast forwarded. They're not listening. But if we still have you here, if you haven't fast forwarded to Lecrae, we want to get up to speed on what happened this week in entertainment and culture. It's time for
In Case You Missed It.
All right. We got to start with this one. It was kind of a heavy story this week with what's happening in the immigration situation in the country. In case people didn't see, Attorney General Jeff Sessions used Romans 13, and the passage in particular that he used. Paul instructs Christians to obey governing authorities, and he used that to justify a policy that allows border police to separate immigrant families, particularly taking children away from their parents. It's kind of the story everyone's talking about. But Stephen Colbert on The Late Show, not only did he take issue with the policy, as many have and many big prominent Christian voices have, but he also gave a mini Bible lesson to Jeff Sessions about the real meaning of Romans 13 and helped put it into context. Here is a clip of Stephen Colbert.
He said separating kids from their families is the Lord's work.
Illegal entry into the United States is a crime. It should be, it must be. And I would cite you to the Apostle Paul and his clear and wise command in Romans 13 to obey the laws of the government because God has ordained the government for his purposes.
But I will give Sessions this. That is what Romans 13:1 says. Okay, you got to have laws. But if he just read a little bit further into Romans 13:10, it says, love your neighbor as yourself. Love does no harm to a neighbor. Therefore, love is the fulfillment of the law. But I'm not surprised.
That story, that piece of audio and that clip was everywhere this week. And, it's one of those things, there's a lot of Christian leaders speaking out, but it's an interesting cultural place for one of the most prominent voices to defend Scripture is a comedian.
Yeah.
Because he's a former Sunday school teacher. Is that correct? There was a time when Colbert taught Sunday school.
That's correct. In recent history, I don't think he's done it since he's been doing the Late Show, but within the last decade or so, he's a devout Catholic, and has taught Sunday school. He knows the Bible extremely well.
It's always obviously like very sad to see our faith, religion used to defend indefensible practices and being wielded as this blunt instrument to because you can't argue against it. It's like the kid who's like wants to have a bad breakup, but he doesn't want to take credit for himself. So he's like, well, God told me we need to break up because then she can't push back against it. And then you magnify that to this national level to justify what is starting to look like a humanitarian crisis. That created a sort of sadness and outrage that I didn't know I had in me. But it's been good to see that a lot of the Christian groups, even ones who have been relatively silent or even complicit in some of the things that have been happening over the past couple of years, have seemed to put their foot down on this one pretty hard.
Yeah, the policy and also the abuse of Scripture like this. I know, Tyler, you wrote a piece for the website that made the same point. That also recently, Carl Lentz was like a guest on one of the MSNBC Sunday talk shows where they talk politics and stuff, and he kind of made a similar point to you made in your piece for the site that people can go read. But basically, you can misuse that Scripture to justify anything that the government does, including
and people have through in the past historically
in our
it's
national
been used
history,
to justify it.
Right? Exactly.
Yeah, recent history even.
Well, without the context of the gospel and God's moral law. It's not saying, hey, whatever the government does is fine. Not when it contradicts basic principles of the gospel.
Right.
I think, Andre, it was you who pointed out on Twitter that Paul wrote that chapter from jail.
I'm like, he wrote that scripture while in prison for disobeying the authorities.
So I have a question for y'all about this that I wrestle with literally constantly every day on Twitter. How much do you read from both sides before you share an opinion? I'm not challenging any of three of y'all's opinions. I agree with all of your opinions that I follow on Twitter. My wrestle is there are people talking from two totally opposite sides that say they have the same faith understanding as me. And so when do y'all decide what to say and when to say it?
I mean, I think it depends. I think I can only speak for myself, but I think for me, it depends really on the issue. For something like this, it seems pretty black and white, especially, it depends on how nuanced the issue is, I mean, I think it's important to be informed and kind of know what the nuances of something are. But with this, it's it seemed pretty clear that, there was a policy mandated from the White House that was put into place with no warning by the Attorney General that could be stopped at any point while a lot of the nuances are figured out. And it seems pretty black and white, but I think it's important to hear both sides and understand why people think the way they do. But in terms of how much, it depends on what the issue is. Andre, what are your thoughts on what Annie's question? I
mean, I am following some conservative voices on Twitter, and I make sure that I read what they tweet, and I can't speak for every conservative voice, that is out there, but the ones that I do follow, some of their responses were just basically attacks on, someone on the other side of the aisle that they don't like, or an attack on Hillary Clinton, or bringing up President Obama. And some of the points that they make are actually salient. You know, like this country has had a long history of human rights issues, you know, and so you can name previous presidents and administrations under which we have looked at things or should have looked at things and said, this is wrong. This should not have happened. So fair point, you know. But I didn't feel like I need to hear from them first before I said anything, because the news that we were getting seemed pretty straightforward on this topic. So I think I agree, you know, that it depends on what issue we're talking about.
Yeah.
I think that one thing that I've been thinking about a lot over the past year or so is that the best way to have a healthy online life is to have a healthy offline one. So when I read the other voices that I try to consume, I think there's a lot more value to getting alternative opinions from books and from longer, even if you're going online, longer, more thoughtful articles, instead of just trying to follow voices on Twitter or Facebook, other social media outlets, which are bound to be the worst possible version of those sides. Because if you're the only other side you're ever hearing is from social media, you're getting something that's very reactive, that's very extremist, that is probably not going to be an actual substantive representation of the other side that you're looking for. So I do think it's important to get other sides, and I do follow people that I don't agree with often, because I think it's important to be aware of what being said of what the other side of the conversation is. But for my substantive thoughts about how to actually feel about positions and voices that I don't agree with, I think that social media is probably not the best place to get those, but it's important to seek them out in more holistic, thoughtful, intellectual areas.
I just feel like a lot of times in the faith space, people bandwagon really quickly.
Yeah.
It's so easy to do.
And I have such a fear of bandwagoning on an opinion that does not match the gospel, because 8 out of 10 of my Christian friends do it. But then I get paralyzed. I mean, if I'm just telling y'all the honest truth, if we're pretending like people aren't listening and we're just 4 friends talking, 5 friends if Chandler is still with us. Sometimes I get paralyzed by the amount of information and wondering, when do I know enough to say what I think publicly?
Yeah.
And I keep not hitting that fill line where I still feel like I don't know. I'm not sure. And not just on this issue. I for the last year, I so often feel paralyzed to say a strong opinion, because there are so many other opinions.
Yeah.
That's probably healthy, though.
Does that make me like the weakest woman y'all have ever been friends with? I don't know.
I think that's probably that's a sign of, I think, intellectual integrity to a degree, that you want to make sure that what you are advocating for, that you truly understand and believe. But I mean, something as complicated and complex and nuanced as immigration policy, like large scale immigration policy, there's people on all sides of that issue that have come to their conclusions because that they think that what they've determined it works best. And I don't, I think that, and there are people who are experts on it. And, I think that it's valuable to listen to what they have deduced based on all of their experience and information. But I think when you look at something that just seems outright morally wrong, even if you're not an expert on wide scale policy, to say, well, what's happening right here? We know this is bad. So let's use this as a starting point. I don't know what the long term solution is to the big issue, but I do know putting children into detention camps, if that's the outcome, this seems wrong. I mean, and that doesn't sound nuanced, but I think it's taking a small part of a large issue and at least kind of using that as a starting point.
I agree. It's a hard thing to do. It's a hard, and y'all know this, you can say things personally on your Twitter that you can't say from the relevant Twitter. And there are, and so we have to balance that. I mean, pastors have to balance that. Teachers have to balance that. Every human has to balance, like, who's listening and how do I say this wisely? Because the internet doesn't go away. Like, you tweet something and you can delete it and 18 people could have already screenshot it.
Right.
Yeah.
And so every tweet really matters to me. I mean, maybe I'm being overly, I'm probably being overly cautious because I have a Enneagram wing 6 that doesn't want to play on the street, just wants to play on the sidewalk. But I have to figure out, y'all do it better than I have to figure out how I stand for what I really believe and don't feel paralyzed by pushback from people I respect.
Yeah.
I was thinking about this last night a little bit in the context of, we're going to get a little Bible-y here, but
yeah, let's do it.
This is a relevant podcast. I was thinking about this in
I'm
terms
of... You get Bible-y, I'm going to move to the next item.
I was thinking about David and Goliath. And in my mind, those days before David showed up, when Goliath was challenging the Israelites to have a one-on-one fight, and whoever wins that fight gets all the prize, gets the whole prize. And in my mind, and in pop culture depictions, we usually think of the Israelites as like hiding behind rocks and like cowering and like, oh, we're like too scared to do this. But which is what the Bible says. It says they were afraid. But I've been around like big groups of guys before, and there's no way they were all like actually just like teeth chattering, knees knocking. They were all pretending like, oh, I'm going to go get him. I'm going to get like, they're trying to be the toughest and the most reasonable, most thoughtful. Like, well, here's what we do. We wait it out. He can't do this forever. They were taking the reasonable, moderate position. Because the reasonable, moderate position a lot of times is just fear. And it took somebody like David who had the courage to say, this is an extreme time and we need to do something extreme. And he was the first one to say that the moderate position at this time wasn't working and someone needed to take an actual piece of action. I'm not saying that someone needs to go out there and start digging a tunnel underneath detention clinics in Texas. But I do think that there's an example there for those of us who are, it's easy for moderation itself to become a kind of extreme. And there are times when the right thing to do, or the actual reasonable thing to do, is to take real action and to be an active. And that's how we remember the people who had the moral clarity. People like Dr. King, people like Malcolm X, people like Corrie ten Boom, who had the moral clarity to see that and the courage to say, this is not a time for reasonable action. It's a time for extreme actions.
And I will say, for this particular issue, as a tease to Friday's show, Matthew Sorens, who is the U.S. Director of Church Mobilization at World Relief, one of the preeminent organizations involved in refugee resettlement, as well as kind of helping immigrants within the United States. He's also the national coordinator for the Evangelical Immigration Table. And he wrote a book with Jenny Yang, who's also at World Relief, called Welcoming the Stranger, and really has an informed biblical opinion about this issue. He's going to be on Friday's show. So that's kind of a teaser for people who kind of want to dig into this issue even more, because it is such an important one. Okay, so also coming up, in case you missed it, a little bit of a change of pace here. S-Town, the podcast, is being made into a movie. So a lot of listeners probably heard S-Town. It was made by the team behind This American Life, and it tells the story of sort of this eccentric guy named John who contacts This American Life because he believes like maybe even like a murder is being covered up in his Alabama town, but things quickly take a lot of twists, come off the rails. It's a fascinating podcast. It's true. It's a documentary series. But the film, the guy who's in talks to be the director is Tom McCarthy, and his last film was Spotlight, which told the true story of the investigative unit at the Boston Herald who uncovered the scandal with the Catholic Church in New England. Won an Academy Award. So we have an Academy Award winning director bringing S-Town to the big screen. Having listened to the podcast, and I guess we don't have to spoil it for people who still haven't. I don't know how, if you're in a podcast, you haven't heard S-Town yet, but for the benefit of the doubt, we won't give it away here. But I don't know how that translates into a movie.
Yeah, me neither. That seems like a really tough. I mean, it could be done, I suppose, but it seems like a tough narrative. It was tough for a podcast.
Yeah. Did you, Andre, Annie, did you guys listen to S-Town?
Never.
Oh, I devoured it. I mean, I listened to it twice.
Twice.
Wow. I loved it. I thought it was one of the most, I mean, without spoiling it, it takes a pretty big twist a couple of episodes in.
Yeah.
And I love when, one of the things I loved about S-Town is when the storyteller gets surprised in the middle of the story.
Yeah.
And that is what happened. And so I think I didn't know it was becoming a movie. I think that's super interesting. So is it, Jesse, is it going to be like a retelling of it, or is it them like is it going to be documentary style then?
No, from my understanding, it's scripted. So it's going to be, there's going to be like actors portraying John and the reporter.
What part of the story are they going to be portraying, I guess? Is it going to be like the actual podcast, or is it going to be just his life story? Or
I don't know the details, but I would imagine it would be almost like, I don't see how it could be anything but having like the reporter in the story be a character. It's like how, I mean, this is like a dated example, but it's one that comes to top of my head, like how like Truman Capote was sort of like an early kind of gonzo journalist and inserted himself into stories. And so when you watch In Cold Blood, the film, Truman Capote is a character in the film. Or, I feel like the other example is Hunter S. Thompson or something, where you can't have Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas if Hunter S. Thompson isn't a character in it, even though he's the writer. So I would picture it would be something like that.
Man, that's fascinating. I will love watching it. I hope we get to see the maze, because remember how such a central part of S-Town is that maze that he built with shrubs.
Yeah. There's so many little weird elements to the story that would be interesting to see how that's depicted in a scripted film.
Yeah. Tyler, you could wear your shrub outfit in the movie. You could be like a character.
Shrub number 3.
Yeah, for sure.
The center of the maze. And he like, once you reach the center of John's crazy maze made of shrubs, Tyler just pops up. Hello, I'm dying to talk to somebody. I am so alone. I'm so alone.
It's a small part, but it's memorable. It's
and the sad part will be when you email an offer and they email you back and say, we don't want no shrubs.
my gosh.
Shrub is the guy who's going to get no love from us. Yeah.
Paul Schrader just up there. Yeah.
Paul Schrader.
Like the TLC. That was the TLC
I've been holding
song.
on to that TLC joke for 18 minutes, everybody.
Yeah, wow. That's another blue card over the shoulder. All right. Well, also this week, man, do you guys still watch the MTV Movie Awards?
No.
I kind of love him.
Yeah, Annie, do you watch the MTV Movie Awards?
I got a soft spot for him.
I wish I didn't love that kind of stuff still, but I do.
Here's the
Annie.
Yeah, here's the thing about the MTV Movie Awards. They lean into what they are. Like, award shows just continue to get more and more pretentious. Like, the Oscars, like, treat themselves as if they're the Nobel, prizes or whatever. And at least the MTV Awards, they're essentially a parody of movie award shows. Like, they're completely self-aware, and celebrities just go goof around and have fun. So Chris Pratt was given the Generation Award, which is basically just a made-up award, right? There's no
For sure it is. For sure it is.
What is that about? What does that mean?
I was about to say, it's like every language. It's just made up. It's like currency.
Yeah. And what generation, like, Chris Pratt's probably like 38. The mean viewer of MTV is probably 14. Like, you know what I mean? He's like almost triple their age. Like, I don't know what generation, but who cares, right? Who cares? That's the whole point. It's a made-up award, and just give it to whoever you want. And he's still, like, arguably, he's still at the prime of his career. It's not like a Lifetime Achievement Award, because he still has probably more of his career in front of him than behind him. But he was given the Generation Award, and he used the acceptance speech to encourage the young audience and viewers. So
yeah, he didn't play around. I listened to it.
Yeah, so it was great because it furthers my theory, because I've had a theory for a running theory for a little while, since Chris Pratt has gotten really vocal about his faith, right? Mm-hmm. Like, I would say, like, in the last 2 years, he's used a lot of opportunities to speak about his faith. He endorsed like Chad Veach's book on YouTube, and he seems like very genuine about it.
Wait, slow down. He endorsed Chad Veach's book on YouTube? What does that mean?
Yeah, he made a YouTube video and was like, hey, you guys should read this book. It was funny. It was Chris Pratt style, but basically like, hey, my pastor wrote this book. It's great. You should read it. So
not even like an Insta story. He uploaded to YouTube.
Chris Pratt's old school. He's won the Generation Award.
That is fascinating.
He's cross-generational. It's unbelievable. But I've had a theory since Chris Pratt has become like this kind of vocal Christian that he would make the world's coolest youth pastor. That I feel like there's a lot of Andy Dwyer. There's a lot of Andy Dwyer in Chris Pratt, and Chris Pratt is like the ultimate youth pastor. Like, he's fun. He's a big goofball. He's more of a kid than adult, I feel like, in a lot of ways.
He would make a great youth pastor.
Yeah.
And so his acceptance speech, I feel like drove that point home, because he gave like the Chris Pratt's, 9 life rules. It was how he framed it. And half of them was very elaborate toilet jokes. Like, it was literally jokes about using the bathroom. The other half talked about how to take care of your soul, how to pray. He talked about how you know that you're imperfect and that the grace that sustains you is paid for by someone else's blood.
Yes.
And
how to be strong, and how to not be a bully with your strength and your influence.
It was the ultimate.
This
youth
is
pastor
ripped
sermon.
from the youth pastor handbook.
Because
It is.
Because it's bathroom humor combined with that's a really good message. It just confirms the fact he should be a youth pastor. In case you haven't heard, here is a clip of Chris Pratt's speech.
You have a soul. Be careful with it. God is real. God loves you. God wants the best for you. Believe that. I do. Learn to pray. It's easy, and it's so good for your soul. And finally, number 9, nobody is perfect. People are going to tell you you're perfect just the way you are. You're not. You are imperfect. You always will be. But there is a powerful force that designed you that way. And if you're willing to accept that, you will have grace. And grace is a gift. And like the freedom that we enjoy in this country, that grace was paid for with somebody else's blood. Do not forget it. Don't take it for granted.
Chris Pratt, if you're listening, and we assume you are.
Assume so, yeah. Every youth pastor does.
You really should try your hand at youth pastory. I think you'd excel at it.
All you need is a few stuffed cheese pizzas, stuffed crust cheese pizzas, and some sort of game that involves near death or weirdly romantic for high schoolers to coupling off, and you're good to go. You're halfway there.
Lock in.
Yeah. You gotta have the wherewithal to do a lock in. That's how you know. I think that literally is the PhD of youth groupness, of youth leader. The PhD is when you host a lock in and you don't lose a kid and you don't fall asleep. If you've stayed awake for an entire lock in as the youth leader and still been nice to the parents when they pick their kids up from Mount Asia mini golf, you got your PhD in youth.
And I can't see Chris Pratt being. So another check in the box of why he should be a youth pastor. Finally, speaking of the MTV Movie Awards, one of the other great moments that I wanted to bring some attention to is Chadwick Boseman. What he did. He won a couple awards, but including Best Hero for his role in Black Panther. And instead of accepting the award for himself, he asked James Shaw Jr. to come on and receive the award. So in case you...
Nashville's own.
Yeah, in case you forgot, James Shaw was at a Waffle House in Nashville back in April when a gunman walked in and, was going to, commit, a horrible act of violence. Shaw risked his own life to disarm the gunman, basically tackled the guy, took away the gun until the police arrived. Chadwick Boseman, when he went up to accept the award, he thanked his fans, but he says it's even greater to acknowledge the heroes that we have in real life. So I just want to acknowledge someone that's here today. And he brought up James Shaw Jr. and he gave him, the cool thing is he gave him the popcorn trophy, which is such a cool trophy and so nostalgic.
It is kind of a cool trophy. You're right.
And
would you use that to barter with, Jesse, if you had one of those?
If it came to desperate measures, only because it can be melted down for real gold, which is the only thing of value.
I'm sure it's real gold. Good call.
But I thought that was great. I thought, Chadwick Boseman, he just seems like such a classy guy.
Indeed.
He's a class act for sure.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Have y'all seen all the memes people are doing of him being tired of doing the Black Panther?
Slowly getting more and more exhausted with
that
the arm
Wakanda
crowd,
salute
the
is
Wakanda
getting
thing.
so janky.
Yes, I love it. I think it is so funny.
Hey, does anyone know? I looked this up. I stumbled upon this the other day. Does anyone know how old Chadwick Boseman is?
I do.
Oh, this is a great
it's
game.
Astonishing.
Okay, Andre, Annie. Since you both don't know, Andre, you go first. How old do you think Chadwick Boseman is?
I feel like he's like 46 or something like that.
Okay, no. I'm going to lean the other way. I'm going to say 26.
See,
this highlights the problem.
This highlights the problem. He could literally be any age. He has the maturity and wisdom of, like, he seems like just like a really well-adjusted dude. So you're like, he's got to be older. But he looks like a 20 and dresses like and has the credibility of like a cool upper 20-something. He's like 41 years old.
He's 41.
You are lying to me.
Close.
He's 41 years old.
40.
Yes. Yeah, Chadwick Boseman is a man. I believe
Is he
so.
married? I think so.
Yeah.
Right. Too bad.
So yeah,
I don't think he's married.
Oh, he's not married?
I don't know. I'm looking at his Wikipedia page and I'm not seeing anything talking
Annie,
about
he might not be married.
personal life. Boseman was raised a Christian. He was baptized, part of a church choir and youth group. And it says nothing about
Did
a
he
wife.
ever attend a lock-in?
Did he ever attend a lock-in?
Senior pastor Chadwick Boseman, youth pastor.
Yeah, it doesn't say anything about being married.
Oh my gosh, can
so
you
I don't
imagine
know.
that church? Senior pastor Chadwick Boseman, youth pastor Chris Pratt. Come on.
Who else is on
man.
this church
That
staff?
would be-
Who's the worship leader? Who's the worship leader at this
That's
church?
what I'm trying to figure out. Is who the
JT?
worship leader is there?
No. You know who the worship
JT.
leader is? No, the worship leader is a Katie Hudson. She takes back her Christian music name from Katy Perry. Associate pastor and worship leader Katie Hudson.
I was about to say, you better put a woman on this staff.
That's right.
I'm watching. I'm here.
I said associate. She's a pastor too, not just worship pastor.
You did call her pastor. I appreciate that.
I think Michael B. Jordan should be the worship leader so he can scold the congregation when they're not like really into it. He'd be like, is this your best praise? like he does when he's like beating up
Is this your
T'Challa.
worship?
Is this your worship?
This is a great church. It's multi-generational, multi-ethnic, multi-racial, multi-gender. It's all the multis.
Yeah. Well, let's
I
start
would attend.
Yeah, I would attend too. We'll
go.
do our best to get this going.
Yeah, and can we get is this one of those churches that streams to other campuses, or are we just one big campus with a lot of services?
I'm not a fan of the streaming service. I like to keep it
I'll
all
say
in the
this.
same house.
No. Here's the thing. Chadwick Boseman has access to Wakanda technology where he can beam holograms
great
of
point.
himself.
That's a good point. What a great
We've already
point.
seen him do it in the movie. Like, he's
Literally.
sitting there driving the car and it's all hologram. Wakanda has the technology to do like hologram services. So I'm not too concerned about that.
So we're not even going to tell what campus has the real Chadwick Boseman.
We're
We're just going to tell everybody
need.
that's him.
Yeah.
Go to church, and we're never telling where he's live from. And the answer is always his own living room, but we'll never tell.
It's always his own living room. It's funny.
Well, that's it for In Case You Missed It. Next up, the moment most people have been waiting for, not our hypothetical superhero churches, Lecrae.
Sweater sun shining on me, get my heart up, no matter that trouble surrounding us. They don't see that it's a lot of us. Everybody move anonymous. Won't take that credit, I know what we get it. Them blessings be coming from God above. I was doing all kind of bad, what a quiet. Tell him I need a verse. Hit the pew and tell God he's first. Hit the studio, the body of verse. I remember pushing mama little white Hyundai with no gas money. I just bought a car, cash money. I ain't even trying to brag on it. I just tell it how it really is. I ain't tripping, they ain't feeling this. I ain't saying I deserve nothing. I'm just trying to talk about the benefits. I've been punching in the clock, trying to keep the kitchen stocked. Man, it's a blessing because we ain't never had a lot. But all we need is all we got.
You are listening to the single Blessings from Lecrae. At the beginning of the podcast, you heard Future Generations with All the Same. Well, as you may have we alluded to earlier, rapper Lecrae recently teamed up with famed producer Zaytoven for his brand new EP, Let the Trap Say Amen. You're probably familiar with Zaytoven. Even if you don't know his name, you probably know his music. He's worked with artists including Usher, Waka Flocka Flame, Migos, Future, and a ton of others, and brings a unique production flair to Lecrae's rhymes about faith, life, and hope. We recently spoke to Lecrae about the EP and some of the inspirations behind some of its best songs.
Did you know that to this day, Zaytoven still plays organ in his church? So I think he's perfect for the organist in this church.
For sure, he works at the church.
Yeah, man, in Atlanta.
So you're saying Zaytoven and Katy Perry are up there bringing worship?
Oh yeah.
I need you to call Katie Hudson.
That's right.
Katie Hudson.
Katie Hudson. Yeah. And then, I mean, this church is forming itself. So, yeah.
Chris Pratt as the lead youth pastor, but we're definitely going to need an associate at some point because
I feel like
well-funded church.
Well, I feel like let's be honest with ourselves. Chris Pratt probably going to be the associate youth pastor because I don't think we want to leave him in charge of things. Actually, for insurance reasons, that's a bad call.
That's probably true. He's the middle school guy. You want him to be the middle school guy?
Yeah, exactly. He's got to have some manner of supervision. Brie Larson.
Yeah.
Hey, Brie Larson, the new Captain Marvel. I don't know her religious story, but she could help oversee, the shenanigans of Chris Pratt. She's the new leader of the Marvel universe. The least she
got a
can
great
do.
social media presence. She's strong on Twitter. That's all you need.
That is all you need.
I can guarantee you this. Lecrae has never had an intro like that. Here is our conversation with Lecrae.
Yeah, top down, head back. Ride by the hype beats, don't Fairfax. Monday morning, I don't want to hear trap. I play Rick James when I'm in traffic. I've been doing this since 5th grade. I've been doing this since I've been saved. I've been rock crowds on a big stage. I've been made hits with some big names.
The first single, Get Back Right. Tell me a little bit about the inspiration for that song in particular.
I almost want to say that was one of the first songs that we did. And I just was like narrating like what I'm experiencing. And I was also toying with, talking about some of the same narratives, the same things that a lot of other artists who would get on a Zay track would talk about. But then like saying, though I've experienced these same things, the parties full of models and bottles falling everywhere, like that did not stop the pain or the hurt or the questioning of who I am and what I'm doing here. And so, but I just didn't, it doesn't sound super deep and you just have to pay attention to catch those little things, those gems.
Get back right, get back right. I don't really stress, I pray more. Did Lord stretch my case out. I've been doing this since you was like, on the wave, playing with your Legos. Look, I don't cap my rap facts. You can go and check the stats. You and your squad versus me and my guy. Look, bro, you ain't finna win that now.
Obviously, you're a person of faith. How do you deal with those trappings that are a reality for someone like in your position that has your platform?
Man, for me, it's always been keeping good friends around me. It's always been keeping people who love me for me and who are not afraid to tell me the truth about stuff. And it never drink the Kool-Aid, you know what I mean? Just never, never believe the hype. A lot of times we believe what the media says about us or what our awards and accolades say about us. We just don't believe what God says about us. And I always want to have that perspective, like, who does God say I am? And let that be the source of, my significance or whatnot, because as soon as I stop making great music or I don't win awards or I go broke or something like that, now all of a sudden it's like, oh man, I'm worthless unless, my significance comes from God and then I know like I'm always secure.
Well, I want to talk about the other single, Plugged In, which, particularly deals with like the idea of money. And it's sort of the same way, like kind of the false security it can bring and how it can also, be kind of a trap. Tell me a little bit about how that song came about.
So Plugged In is me kind of like trying to give some game back. I've been doing this for so long, and especially if I had to talk to like my cousins or, dudes in different environments, I think a lot of the, candidly, a lot of the conservative Christian narrative doesn't really apply to a lot of my family and friends who are in, like tough environments and tough surroundings. A lot of times we talk about like, the whole idea of humility and don't, don't waste your life. Don't waste your retirement. And it's like, man, these people are would love to have the opportunity to consider retirement. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to empower them to even imagine being financial stewards. Like, you know what I'm saying? They got to get some money to learn how to steward it. And so for me, it's like saying, listen, man, before you buy that necklace, and I'm not mad at you buying a necklace, but consider what else you could possibly do with that money. You know what I'm saying? Consider getting property. Consider investments. Consider these things that will create a legacy for your kids so they won't be in the same situation that you're in and you know, trying to live from check to check. So that's kind of some of the narratives that I'm trying to give.
I got no time for no fun and food. Ain't 100 fool. Told my sister, get your money, boo. Don't let them worry you. Had to slow down on that Hennessy. Don't need dependency. Hard to trust these folks who say they friend, they just pretend to be. I'm on God's time. I'm on feed the block. They don't lead the block. Wanna see me like, leave me rotting in a cedar box. Made a lot of money slanging raps. Bring it back. Gave some people jobs and got them out the trap. Picture that.
I wanted to ask you too. You did a song, and you also have a cameo in Superfly. How was it being in the movie? What was that? What was that experience like?
Man, movies are tough, bro. I mean, I was in a movie for all of a minute, right?
Yeah.
You know, but movies are tough. It's a lot of work, and my kudos to all my actor friends because I really got to see hands on. Trevor Jackson's a good friend of mine. I'm also featured on his project that he put out. And he did a phenomenal job as a lead role in that film. But I just felt bad for him because I was on set all of, 2 days. And it was just like grueling to see everything he had to do. So I was like, man, you can have the movies. I'll take the movies, bro.
Yeah, I wonder why they hate us. Sometimes wonder why you made us. On hiatus from these haters. Plus I know they want to slave us. Engrave an angel on my grave. The strong survive is what they say. But I look around and all the strong to die. That's the reason why I pray. My head bowed, tears to try not to pain. Innocent bodies are slain. This how you feel when your color gets you killed. Lord, I know this ain't your way. Why did the good die young? Got they mamas crying for them. Got us writing ghetto poems. Reciting all the psalms.
That was Lecrae. Next up, we hear your feedback.
I just want to see the light every single day. I don't want to make mistakes. I just want to feel the light. Maybe get away. Some always for my side. My life is not what I had in mind. But I can make it better. I know I can somehow. But I can make it better. I know I can somehow.
That was Sports Coach. That was Sports Coach. I don't know why I said it 3 times. The band is just called Sports Coach, not Sports Coach, Sports Coach, Sports Coach, Sports Coach. That's their song, Stretching. Last week we asked you, what is your best game show story? So we got talking about prank shows. We got talking about the Kardashians in the West on Family Feud and Steve Harvey. And we want to know, hey, I wonder if anyone in our audience has stories about trying to get on a game show. So we asked you, what's your best game show story? You hit us up on Twitter and the episode page at relevantmagazine.com. Here are some of your best replies.
Okay, so Lindy Todd reminded, she was on Bozo's Super Sunday show. Do y'all remember Bozo the Clown? I haven't thought about Bozo.
Oh my gosh.
And the great thing about Bozo is back in the day, WHRO or what was it? It was, anyways, the Chicago
channel, right?
Was on, it was owned by like Turner or something. So on off hours, they would syndicate stuff. That's why there was like a lot of Cubs game on. If you had cable growing up, you could always watch the Cubs or the Bulls and things. But they would syndicate Bozo in the morning. Do you remember the game that he had? Where the great thing about Bozo, the game show back in the day, was all the games you could like replicate at your house. Like it was just a
all of them, Jesse. I hope, yes.
It was a long line of buckets, and you had a ping pong ball. And like the climax of the show was how far you could throw. Like anyone, it's not that great of a game. Anyone can do it in the house. The only cool thing is he's got a little monkey, a little spider monkey that would run and grab the ball and fetch the ball for you. It's like a spider monkey, like a real life spider monkey was his co-host. So we have someone that was going to be on Bozo.
Yes, and that's what she talked about is the cup and bucket game, or the cup and ball game. That is exactly, I mean, how many times I replicated that at my house. I bet I did that once a week, my elementary life. I mean, the problem is the ping pong balls bounce out of the buckets.
Yeah. Well, that's the trick.
That's the problem.
Well, what did our readers say about it?
Well, that is literally what she said, that she had, it was a huge deal because she got to skip church, drive to Orlando, and she was sure she had a ticket to be in the audience, and she was sure she was going to get to play the games. And because her cousin had said to her, we're going not just to watch the show be taped, but we're going to play the game. And she was devastated because she didn't get to play. She was just in the audience and watched someone else play the ball and cup game. And it broke her heart. So it's sad feedback, but it's real.
Yeah. Well, another sad feedback. This might have been the same person who also tried out for American Idol back like 10 years ago.
It is, yes.
So Lindy tried out for American Idol. She didn't make it past the first round, but she found out that one of her friends from youth group that she lost touch with made it through to the celebrity judges. So like the trick is on that show, like you think when you're watching it, like if you wait out, in front of your local, arena, that you just get welcomed in and you go right to the celebrity judges. You got to make it past a couple of rounds to get to where the celebrity judges are.
Yeah, it's true.
Well, she found out one of her friends made it to celebrity judges. She was so excited to see her, only to see her being made fun of for her unique speaking voice. Lindy said, to this day, I haven't watched American Idol, including the reboot. So, wow, a couple of bummers there from Lindy.
That'll teach you, American Idol.
That'll teach you
Lindy.
for trying to...
Disappointing.
I had a friend that made it on American Idol.
How'd it go?
What?
He went, I think he made it to Hollywood. He didn't end up winning. He's actually on like 3 different times or something like that, like 2 or 3 times. His name is Johnny Keyser. Super talented singer.
Did he have a positive or negative experience?
Very positive. I believe that like Nicki Minaj flirted with him over and over again. And like, yeah, he's a very good looking dude.
I am kind of intrigued by this. We're getting kind of the seedy underbelly of the game show world here.
Right?
Jill's a first-time poster. She was on Wheel of Fortune. She won $11,000, which is a lot of money on Wheel of Fortune. That's pretty good.
Yeah.
And then she says 3 things stood out. 1, the wheel is very heavy, which I have always believed to be true. Yeah. It always looks like they're struggling with the wheel. Vanna is very nice and extremely thin. Again, that doesn't surprise me. And the third thing is Pat is very orange and tends to place his hands a little too low with a side hug, if you know what I mean. Pat.
No, Pat Sajak, don't be that guy. I mean, he is like 108. I feel like we've talked about this, but that's terrible.
It's another one of those things that's not surprising, but is still very upsetting.
Ryan George says him and his brother auditioned for a Discovery Channel game show pilot, and which teams would complete physics experiments while riding amusement parks ride. I don't know if this show ever made it to air, but it sounds pretty great. They were alternates, which that's got to be lame, right? If you get picked for a game show, but like you're an alternate, I guess in case someone gets hurt or sick or too nervous to be on. So he said some of the challenges were ridiculously difficult, but a pair of cheerleaders from Arizona State won the show that day. They beat out a couple of actual scientists. But 2 or 3 years later, him and his sister flew out to Six Flags Magic Mountains where the pilot was took place, and they actually did some ride on the they did some rides that were featured on the show. Anyway, here's where the story gets interesting, non-related to their game show experience. So they just wanted to go on this ride because it was on the show. They thought, oh, maybe, this will bring us some memories. Someone wanting to ride with a group let us skip in front of them in line to get on the coaster that broke while we were on it. We hung suspended in the air waiting for rescue that ended up being an adventure on its own, almost as big as the cable TV show. Andy, this is like your nightmare, right? Getting suspended upside down on a roller coaster.
Beyond, Jesse. Thank you for knowing that my stomach hurts us just talking about this.
Connie said that her husband was on Wheel of Fortune back in the 80s. Sadly, the wheel wasn't in his favor because all he won was lovely parting gifts, which included a case of Tabasco, hair products.
A case of Tabasco? That is a lovely parting gift.
A case of Tabasco, hair products, almonds, and a mattress. That's basically just junk they're trying to get rid of. They're like, this case of Tabasco and this old mattress just taking up too much room. We got to get it out of here.
That sounds like a college freshman dude dorm starter kit. is what that actually sounds like.
So, oh man, Brian said he was on a very cheesy Bible game show, Virtual Memory.
What?
It was produced by TVN. I have no recollection of this.
Nor do I.
I'm very curious to go on a YouTube
What's it
deep
called
dive.
again? Bible Memory?
No, Virtual Memory. It's a Bible game show. He said one of the questions he was given during the show was name a eating utensil that starts with K. For some reason, Brian's answer was spork. So, to be fair, the K in knife is silent. To be fair, I don't know what has to do with the Bible. It's time for this week's
editorial question of the week. Hey.
Okay, so earlier in the show, we talked about a church staff comprised of Brie Larson, Chadwick Boseman, Zaytoven, Chris Pratt, Katie Hudson, and what roles they could fill out in our dream church scenario. We want to hear this week who would be in your celebrity church. We get people in the door, put people in logical roles. You can hit us up on Twitter. You can hit us up on the feedback page at Relevant. You can hit us up on the episode page.
You can't use anyone we've already used. You got to come up with a brand new church staff.
We have our own church. You got to start a new one.
Yeah. We've already started our church.
We're going to do church the American way, and it's going to be very competitive with other churches. Like this is a competition. Those are our competitors. Sure. So leave us your feedback on the episode page at relevantmagazine.com. You might make it on the air next week and win a case of Tabasco and an old used mattress. Hey, special thanks to Lecrae for joining us today. You can follow him at Twitter. On Twitter at Lecrae, and also Let the Trap Say Amen. You can get that now. It's a great EP. Also, hey, leave us a review wherever you get your podcast. 5 stars only. I don't want to hear the 4-star stuff. Someone left us a 4-star the other day.
Oh, what's the?
They didn't say why it's a 4, not 5. So that's like when you drive up to the drive-through window and you see their health inspector rating. You know how they got to leave that in a place where you can see it publicly. They got an A-. And it's like, it's really important to me that I know why you got the A-, not the A. Like 4, not 5. You're just going to give me a complex here. Just tell me what's wrong. So leave us a 5-star review wherever you get your podcast. You can send your 1 stars. I don't know. Send them to Mark at relevantmediagroup.com, and he'll let us know what we need to do better.
Oh, wow.
But anyway, that'll do it for today's show. I was your interim host on this slow train wreck, Jesse Carey. Cameron will be back with us, not on Friday's show. We'll be back next week. Tyler, thanks for being on, man.
Oh, always good to be here, guys.
Annie, a pleasure, as always.
Always a pleasure. I'm proud to be here.
And, of course, Andre, thanks again, my friend.
My pleasure.
So, like, yeah, I mixed this up. I let all of you
that was
thank
nice.
me. I let all of you thank me. I made it about me. Usually you say, I'm Tyler Huckabee. I made it. No, it's about me today.
Thank you, Jesse.
I'm Jesse Carey for Chandler Schrang, sitting in the studio. We'll see you guys on Friday.
Thank you for listening to the Relevant Podcast. If you like what you heard, be sure to leave us a review on iTunes. Check out other shows from the Relevant Podcast Network in the podcast section at relevantmagazine.com. And while you're there, browse exclusive podcast merchandise at our online store. Make sure to subscribe to Relevant Magazine. Info is available at relevantmagazine.com/subscribe.
I've made a gigantic mistake here.
Relevant Podcast Network.
Time is precious, and so are our pets. So time with our pets is extra precious. That's why we started Dutch. Dutch provides 24/7 access to licensed vets with unlimited virtual visits and follow-ups for up to 5 pets. You can message a vet at any time and schedule a video visit the same day. Our vets can even prescribe medication for many ailments, and shipping is always free. With Dutch, you'll get more time with your pets and year-round peace of mind when it comes to their vet care.
Go to Dutch.com to get vet care that is always there for just $92 a year.